Goon Squad Scramble Edition. Mark and Tank are with me. We're going to dispense with the regular bullshit because we've got a ton to talk about. We've got NFL firings. We've got a college icon retiring. I mean, all the shit happened. But before we get to that, did you guys see what happened in the Toronto Lakers game last night?
No.
No? Oh, this is one of the greatest.
Also, I'm here, but go ahead.
Yep, yeah. I said we weren't going to do that. This is one of the greatest coach rants in recent memory. So, Toronto loses the game last night by a point to the Lakers. They're in Toronto. And the Lakers outshot Toronto from the free throw line 23-2 in the fourth quarter.
No way.
Yes.
That's actually one of the least surprising things I've ever heard.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron's on the floor, so we know where all the fucking free throws
Yeah, so they got they
started
started getting the Lakers whistle late, and the Lakers win by 1, right? And Toronto coach Darko Rajakovic, who is Serbian, comes to his post-game presser, and I have the transcript here. I'm going to butcher a little bit of the accent, but he actually sounds like he doesn't sound like Joker Serbian. He sounds like Eastern Serbian, like more Russian.
A little more Russian, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit more Russian. So if you get a chance to look this up on YouTube, please do, because it's hysterical. He just sits down and he says, "That's outrageous. What happened tonight, this is completely BS. This is shame. Shame for the referee. Shame for the league to allow this. 23 free throws for them, and we get 2 free throws in a four-quarter. How to play the game. I understand respect for all-stars and all of that, but we have star players on our team as well. How is it possible, as Scotty Barnes, who is all-star caliber in this league?" And you'll notice as this goes on, the Russian part comes out more and more. Like the English starts like leaving, and you can tell.
I was going to say, your accent reminds me a lot of "I Am Invincible."
Yeah, there's a little bit of John Malkovich and Rounders in there too. Splash the pot. Pay him his money. All right, so Scotty Barnes, who is all-star caliber player in this league, he goes every single time to the rim with force and trying to get to the rim without flopping and not trying to get foul calls. He gets 2 free throws for a whole game. How is that possible? How are you going to explain that to me? They had to win tonight? If that's the case, just let us know so we don't show up for the game. It gets better. The last line is great. Just give them a win. But that was not fair tonight. And that is not happening first time for us. Scotty Barnes is going to be all-star. He's going to be the face of this league. All right, slow down, Darko, but we get it. Weak. And what's happening over here during the whole season, I've been holding you back. It's a complete crap.
Jesus.
That ended up costing him $50,000.
Worth it.
Right.
Worth it. I bet the people in Toronto will fucking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure Michaela is carving a statue in his honor right now.
I mean, just the last sentence. It's a complete crap.
Complete crap.
It's so good.
That's so funny.
I'm trying to remember who the player was. But it was between the Celtics and I want to say it was the 76ers. And they basically said, get your memories now because you have to win by 15 to win by 1 when you're playing against LeBron.
Yeah.
And I wish I could remember who it was, but I still remember that quote. Like, you have to win by 15 to win by 1. They don't want us there. They want him there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same shit. It was the same thing that Kobe had too. You got to win by 15 to win by 1.
The Lakers whistle is real.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I mean, but I get where he's coming from. 23 free throws in the fourth quarter, and they get 2. Yeah. And you have to temper it a little bit. Toronto's a jump shooting team. They don't go to the hole a lot. Scotty does a little bit, but they shot a lot of jump shots in that game, so you're not going to get a ton of foul calls, but still 23.
20, a discrepancy of 20 free throws in a single quarter.
Yeah. Oh, and newsflash, Anthony Davis just fell down. again.
You
Anyway,
see the other NBA news?
which one? The Heat signing or the Clippers signing?
The Kawhi Leonard contract. Jesus.
Yeah, Kawhi.
Did he get paid again?
Yeah, 3 years, $152 million.
Yeah.
But what happened in Miami?
They signed Spoelstra to the richest contract ever for a coach.
Yeah. Wasn't it like 8 years for like
8 years and
something like
just
that.
an insane amount of money for Spoels.
Pat Riley just going, man, you got this, bro.
Oh, and Spoels a great coach, right? I mean,
absolutely. He's a basketball
he
coach.
took that undermanned small team to the NBA Finals last year.
True.
Yeah, he's a hell of a coach.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I think that one's less ridiculous than the Kawhi one. Since winning the championship, when the fuck did Kawhi earn $50 million a year?
He's it's a repayment based off of stuff that he's done in previous franchises. He is, one of very few NBA players that's won a championship in 2 seasons or in 2 uniforms. I get that's not with the Clippers, but that's what the money's all about. His agent's really good.
Yeah, his agent's a fucking genius. We got him $50 million based on what he's been doing the last 2 years.
Yeah, which is not playing very much and being hurt all the time.
Yeah,
right.
But he has won championships in 2 different cities.
Yes,
who have not received a prominent sense.
And he was the best player on both of those teams.
100%.
Yes.
So, but that's that.
The first one.
Yeah,
he was the best
player.
But
that's enough about the NBA. Okay. Who cares about the NBA right now?
Okay.
All right, let's get into it.
Other shit to talk about.
If you are part of our Facebook group, I set the line for NFL coaches getting fired this week at 3. And for the longest time, it was at 2. And the 2 that got the okey doke were not a surprise, right? Riverboat Ron and Arthur Smith. Okay, right?
Yeah.
We had kind of all saw both of those coming. Neither one were this a surprise. And then Tuesday, Mike Vrabel gets the axe.
I'm wondering if that was a mutual thing. Because they brought in the one dude for football operations, and since then, Vrabel's kind of been sitting at the edge of the plank already.
I think when they brought in that new GM, Vrabel was pretty much on his last leg, but it is a firing.
Yeah.
The GM now gets to pick his head coach,
yeah,
but they did not get along. They did not get along.
No, not at all.
No. And I think we can all say here, fellas, Mike Vrabel will be a head coach somewhere in the next 35 days.
I don't know if head coach, but definitely defensive coordinator if he's waiting for a certain position to open.
I think he's got a head coaching job lined up.
There are 7 jobs. Right.
now.
Right. I mean, and he's going to have his pick of the litter. He's the best one out there that's currently available. Right.
Yeah. Right. Is there really any super good options right now?
New England,
San Diego.
New England's not available yet.
Yeah, it will be though. They're going to trade him.
Well, that's why I'm wondering if he's waiting for another spot to open potentially.
That could be real. That's a natural fit. I think the best job the best job right now is San Diego.
Or Atlanta.
Or none. Absolutely.
Yeah,
San
or
Diego,
Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta with the
San Diego's got a quarterback at least.
Yeah,
and Atlanta's got everything else.
Yeah,
they just
they can pick a quarterback.
Yeah.
So he'll have options there too. So we pretty much feel the same way, right? That those are the 2 best jobs
right now. Yeah.
Let's take those 2 off of the table. If you're a head coach,
there's another one as of today.
Oh yeah,
we forgot all of the vacancies.
Yeah, there's one more.
What's the other one?
So the one that pushes
Gum Chewing Pete is taking a senior role.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't think this is a firing, guys. I think this is basically they stopped him from retiring.
Do you think that's what it is? He was out the door.
I think he was going to walk away, and they were like, "Hey, why don't you just stick around and just help us out in an interim? And if this next guy doesn't work out, you can coach a few games in the interim." Right.
Come down and
I think this is a really mutual description. He was probably about done. The guy is as old as our father is. He's 72 or 73 years old.
Yeah, he's 72.
He's the same age as the other guy that we're going to talk about in a little bit in the same sport in a different. But Gum Chewing Pete is no longer a head coach.
Of the group, that was the most surprising one. I thought he was going to be there until they wheeled him out feet first.
Well, and
makes sense.
Them firing Vrabel was a surprise, just because I don't think he's the one that deserved to be fired in that situation. But
it was absolutely a surprise. Pete Carroll was more of a surprise.
Well,
I just didn't. Nobody saw that coming at all.
No,
there were whispers about Vrabel.
Yeah, I kind of saw the Vrabel thing happening just because they did bring in somebody else to run the football operations, and he probably wants his guy there. It makes sense, but it was still a surprise to see it happen.
Right.
They just haven't had a quarterback. Like, he's built a hell of a team with the defense and then a running back who's not going to be there next year.
Yeah, but Tajay Spears
is the perfect time.
Showed up.
Yeah, but I think it's a good time for Vrabel to walk out with his head held high with that job, get another job somewhere else. They kind of did him a favor, honestly.
Oh yeah, he's got another job no matter what. If he wants to be in the NFL, he's going to be in the NFL.
Oh yeah,
as close to the playoffs and in the playoffs as that team has been since he's been there, they're not going to be that good in the next few years.
Right. No. So and he did it with subpar quarterback play.
Yeah.
To say the best, to say the best about Ryan Tannehill and Mayo, Banana,
and Malik Willis, and because he started a couple too in there. Remember
what a terrible selection with the Malik Willis one.
Right, a little bit of a stretch. So if we take the Atlanta and the San Diego jobs off of the table, which one of these jobs that are left, guys? If you were in the market today as an NFL head coach, which one would you prefer? Which would be your choice and why? I'll start with you, Tank.
Shit. Out of the vacancies that are currently available, as of today, I'd go Seattle probably, because that defense is young and getting ready to be good. You got a really solid running back there. You have a good offensive line. Just get a capable quarterback in there, and you can probably do some damage.
So they still have Geno for 2 more years at a reasonable rate. He's a good bridge guy. They have the draft capital built up in order to be able to get somebody if they want one. And there's options out there right now for free agent quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah.
If they really want to, they can get Kirk Cousins or, something. There's options out there. I think Seattle is by far the best job if we're taking away San Diego. And even if you include Atlanta, I think that honestly that's the number 2 behind San Diego.
I could see that, yeah.
They're just set up better, honestly.
Well, and the nice thing about the Atlanta job, and we alluded to it, is that they've got everything but, and they're in prime position to grab one of the 6, right?
Right.
Yeah. That's the biggest draw for them.
Yeah.
As you can if you get a good quarterback and a head coach that's willing to use his weapons correctly, that team can do some damage. Get more than 10 touches for your first round running back. Maybe throw it to the giant tight end that you have that can run a 4.4. Maybe.
Yeah, moderate, minimal stuff, right? I mean, that second level got to be like really thinking to be able to do that. Do you guys follow Annie Agar on any of the social media channels?
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah, I think you and I turned each other on.
Yeah. Did you see her compilation of all the Arthur Smith stuff she's done over the years?
God, it's been fantastic.
It was so good. Why don't you hand it to Bijan? Because they'll be expecting that.
Yeah, there's a reason.
Right.
That means you should do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Then he went out like a little bitch anyways. Like
Jedi mind tricked himself into not using his best players.
Mm-hmm.
And his last moment as a head coach will be that of whining about somebody scoring a late touchdown.
Okay.
And that brings up an interesting point. And before we get into college football, I do want to talk about that a little bit, because there has been quite a bit of back and forth in the NFL media world about what exactly Jameis Winston did. And was he right to do it, or was he wrong to do it? And there are a ton of differing opinions from some people I highly respect. Mark, I'll start with you here. Weigh in on what Jameis did. Was he right? Was he wrong? What happened?
I think that was a very ballsy business decision by Jameis Winston that would make him interesting to other NFL franchises. I like it a lot. I it's the last ish play of the game for you guys. You're not supposed to. It's the last ish play of the season for this group. Obviously, he liked the group of players. He talked to them. According to him, he talked to the team, and the team made this decision but against what Dennis Allen had called or sent in. I like it. I'm 100% on board with it. And if Jameis is out there and we can sign him as a Denver Bronco, I'm kind of into the interviews he's had since then. I like the way he talks. I've actually never, since he got drafted, heard him speak, and it was so eloquent and well put. I'm a Jameis fan, guys.
Do you not remember the eating W's thing?
Yeah, no, I remember that.
He talked quite a bit when he did that.
30. Yeah, no, but I remember that until this moment. I kind of forgot about it, but I really liked that post-game press conference he did from his locker. I thought it was brilliantly done, and I liked the move.
Tank?
I don't necessarily have an issue with the score, especially, as much as those two teams hate each other. I'd say, fuck it, I'm going to score another touchdown anyway just to, do it too. The only issue I have with it is lining up in victory formation and then doing it. That's where it's like, that was disrespectful to the opposition because you're not even giving them a chance to do anything. They saw them line up in victory formation and did not push even a little bit. They went back on their heels and just said, okay, game over, and they walked a touchdown in. That's where I find it disrespectful. I don't care about the scoring the touchdown. I would have done the same thing probably. But I wouldn't have done it that way because at that point, you're stepping on, a convention of respect for your opponents. If you're lining up to to kneel it and then you do that is a little sketchy to me.
I agree wholeheartedly 100% with what you said, Tank. Score, if you're going to score, line up and score. And the next time that Jameis lines up in victory formation, he's going to get his head torn off.
Oh, he's going to get eaten.
Yeah, because he's now set the stage for everyone to go, fuck you, that was wrong. You line up in victory, you're declaring you're going to kneel the ball. 99 times out of 100, that is a stand up and tap the guy in front of you, and you kneel on the ball and the game's over. I think it was the way they did it was chicken shit. I thought it was a loser's mentality to do it the way they did it because it was easy. They did it the easy way. They didn't line up and, to your point, give the defense an opportunity to actually make a play and stop it. They did it from a formation that declares we're going to kneel on the ball. And I do also agree with Mark. I like the way he handled it, and I like the way he explained it. What he needed to address is, why did you do it out of victory? And I think that's the question that nobody asked him. I haven't heard it yet.
No.
I think I don't disagree with the decision. I disagree with the execution. And because of the execution, it's chicken shit.
And unfortunately, it takes away from Allen's agency as the coach too. Unfortunately.
He's not a super strong head coach. Right?
No, but that he's if they're going to step over him like that, that's not a good look.
I will agree with you that the going out of victory formation is pretty chicken shit. I just liked the way it was handled and the fact that he 100% had his coaches back afterwards.
Oh yeah.
And the way he addressed it to the media, as matter of fact as he did, I enjoyed that part of it. So like, I'm not going to argue with any of you guys because I kind of agree with your point, and I didn't see it that way, and now I do. So there you go.
Look at that.
Oh no, how he handled it afterwards, for especially Jameis, was the best way he could have.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I was getting my boy a touchdown.
Yeah, and that back and forth between he and that reporter was genius on both their parts. I mean, they both.
It was great.
How many times have you ever heard two people say respectfully to each other, in the span of 8 sentences,
35 seconds.
Yeah, dear God. I mean, respectfully. I mean, it could have gotten a lot worse depending on how either one of those guys handled it. So
it was heated, but handled well.
Correct.
Yeah.
I just think he needs to explain why he did it that way. That's the question, right?
Well, and that's the media's fault for not asking that question, right?
Right. I mean,
Shannon, on the people covering the story.
Shannon Sharp excoriated him on his late night podcast with Ocho, and it was like, yeah, Shannon, you're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong. Right.
Well, and then we had also interesting information coming out of New York with apparently the defensive coordinator walking away in the middle of the night, just leaving, and no one's talked to him. So,
Wink Martindale.
Yeah, he just left apparently, and the GM and the head coach, and I'm assuming the ownership probably has reached out to him, and there's still no information coming in.
Good for Wink, man. Take a breather, bud. That was a stressful season for him.
Right.
Had the whole weight of that fucking town on his shoulders the entire year.
I don't know how long I'd be
After
able to
3 snaps, he had the entire weight of that entire fucking franchise on his shoulders.
I don't know.
After 3 fucking offensive snaps.
I don't know how long I'd be able to take being a defensive coach for Tank.
Well, in my defense, I wouldn't have done what my twin has done over there, so wouldn't have done many things that he's done over there.
Correct.
But yeah, apparently it was the big issue is between him and Daboll, so that kind of does give you an idea,
Yep.
They're going to be choosing, I'm assuming, Daboll, but
well, I mean, if Wink walks away, that kind of seals that, right? And that Daboll thing still could happen
somewhere else.
Yeah, Wink Martindale's a good defensive coach. He'll land on his feet somewhere. Yeah, he'll make 6 figures as a freaking linebackers coach if he has to, and he's fine.
Oh yeah,
right.
He's like Mike Munchak, right? Like,
yeah,
he's that good.
Yeah, he is that good. Absolutely.
We miss Mike Munchak around here.
We do.
He fucking lots.
He fixed Garrett Bowles.
God, he fixed Bowlesy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Could have used him this year. Jesus Christ, that offensive line was trash.
All right, let's talk about the other big news in football. Huge surprise here, boys. Nick Saban announces his retirement as the head coach of Alabama. Tank?
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck happened?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, is he going to be moving on from... Is he going to try in the NFL again? What is this walking away from Alabama? I mean, they're still a really, really high-level team. So it's kind of an interesting move.
Is there something else going on, Matt, that we don't know about?
Here's what I think. First of all, I don't think he's setting himself up to go anywhere else. I think he's walking away from the game and he's going to go into TV. Because even if he is a head coach or picks up an interest in being a head coach back in the NFL, he's still under contract. So there's going to be a buyout. There's going to be some things that have to happen. I don't know if any of that's going to work. I think that Nick Saban is tired of dealing with college football the way it's currently constructed. And he'd much rather have college football be the way it was in 2010. I think that he's lost in the NIL era. I think he's lost in the transfer portal era and doesn't want to have to deal with that shit. He'd much rather have a whole team of 3 and 4 year starters than have to reload every single year because, hey, I've got 2 quarterbacks, but fuck, 1 just left. I've got 3 quarterbacks, but fuck, 2 just left. I've got 3 running backs, but shit, they all left. Right? And that part of college football is passing guys like Nick Saban by. We're seeing it right now in Clemson.
True.
He has said point blank that he doesn't like the NIL era and he would much rather do it the way he's always done it. They don't like to play with NIL and they don't like to play with transfer portals at Clemson. Dabo's going to get left behind too. And these older coaches who can't quite grasp the social media aspect, the part about money being above board and how that impacts getting kids into your program, they don't want to mess with it. And I think this is domino one. We're going to see more and more of this.
I like where your head's at there, Matt. I kind of had that feeling too a little bit, where like the rest of the SEC is catching up to him with recruiting, because recruiting is a completely different animal the last 18 months than it was the previous 30. I like where your head's at there. I'm with you. That's a really valid point. There was something else I had there, and I completely lost my thought.
There's something bouncing.
I know
There's something.
Yeah. Nick Saban isn't one of those guys who necessarily features star players the way that NIL wants star players to be featured. And that's not his bag. So I think he's walking away while he can, right, and before he can change his win-loss record any worse than it already is.
Well, and
I think you're right.
And it's not like he's walking away from a shit show. They have more in Nick Saban's tenure. They have more first-round draft picks than losses.
That's insane.
That's nuts. It's like 44, 45 first-round draft picks and 28, 29 losses. The entire time he's been there. That's pretty freaking good, right? And they're competitive every single year. They were in the college football playoff again this year and lost a very competitive football game. Yeah, I know. Tank's like, oh, they shouldn't have been there. But they were there.
True. They were there.
They played like they should have been there. That game was a very good football game to watch.
True.
I just think he's tired of it. I think he can see the writing on the wall, and he's like, I don't want to deal with this. This isn't what I signed up for.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
He made his money. Go play with your grandkids, bro. Go work on Saturdays at Fox. And you can throw shit at Urban Meyer, because I know you want to do that.
God, that'd be funny. Oh, God, get him on the mic every weekend doing game day, just trash bagging other coaches. Right. I would love that so much.
Good. Could you see him on ESPN and put him next to McAfee? Oh my God. Talk about point, counterpoint. I mean, brash McAfee and monotone Saban. I think that would be hysterical.
Can we have an ancient coaches podcast when Belichick finally retires and have him, Saban, and Pete Carroll just all talk about football for 2 hours a week?
Yeah,
I would fucking have that 100% on speed.
Absolutely.
I'd listen to that live.
Get Popovic in there. The angry leprechaun.
All the fucking curmudgeons.
Yeah.
Get George Karl.
Yeah. Oh, well, George can't talk, so that's always hard. Well, he doesn't do audio.
Yeah. It'd be funny, though.
And it's like Lou Holtz would be fun to listen to for about 45 seconds until you just
no, it wouldn't. No, just put like a mouthful. Just put like paper over his face.
So it sounds like he's chewing on a bag of marbles. But there's no denying the man's knowledge, right?
Oh yeah. He knows more about football.
Phil Jackson. Put Phil Jackson on it. Oh,
yeah. That'd be great.
That's one of the best ideas you've ever had.
Curmudgeon coach cast.
Right?
Something.
The old guys. Anyway, any more thoughts on Nick Saban here, fellas, before we move into Pew and then kick loose for nerds?
Good luck in your future endeavors.
Yep.
He's earned the time off, if nothing else.
Absolutely has.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right, Mark, take it away.
Cool. Let's start some Pew Pick'em, shall we? I sent you guys the sheet that we have for week 20. We still don't have any final tally, but I'm imagining that we smoked everybody because we did pretty well. Congratulations to Frank again, who with the meme picks won the ties.
3-1.
I was pretty good, buddy.
Wow. And almost had the other one too. San Diego wouldn't have fucking charged it again.
Wow. That's what they do.
Exactly.
I'd like to say that over a 20-week season, we averaged about one appetizer per week. That's pretty good when you have 30 people playing constantly, So congratulations, and we won the year. So we're going to do this again, but we're going to do it a little bit differently this week. We are going to do it for the wild card. So we're going to give everyone a little bit more time to talk. I will tell them when to stop when I've had enough of their bullshit. That's the line of demarcation is I will just say, you're done.
Give me a
move
pick.
on.
Hey, before we get into it, I also do want to shout out Goon adjacent Ed Newell won the beat the leader at Highlands Ranch as well. So it's a clean Goon sweep.
Oh, wow.
Anyone who plays,
nice.
right?
Good for Ed.
That's awesome.
All goons all the time. If you're a goon, you win pizza.
There you go. Everybody gets pizza.
Yay.
Everyone gets pizza.
All right, carry on.
So we've got some games this weekend, guys, and it's wild card weekend, and it's going to be a cold one across the U.S., and that factors in when we're talking about one of these games. I've got a very interesting stat there. But let's start with the top and go down, and we're going to start at the bottom, actually, in Houston, where the Texans are playing, and they're welcoming in those dastardly Cleveland Browns who are Digger, Drew Flecker. Drew Flecker. The over-under on this game is 44.5 points, and the Browns are favored on the road by 2.5 going into Houston, which makes a lot of sense to me. But fuck the Browns anyways. Fuck the Browns. Frank, tell me about this one.
All right, I am repping the Texans tonight, but unfortunately, that defense for the Browns is looking way too good, and the Texans do not have their best receiver, and I think that's going to slow them down in this game, unfortunately, and I think Cleveland's going to do enough defensively and have enough with Joe Flacco's experience in the playoffs to overcome the Texans on the road. That's it.
Matt?
Oh, you weren't going to cut off his bullshit. Okay.
Cut off my own bullshit.
Yeah, right. This
Because
is
he was able to use his self-sphincter and cut his own bullshit off.
what is self-sphincter? Jesus.
Self-sphincter.
This is a super interesting football game. If you take the top teams out of it, these are probably the best defense and the best offense in the AFC playing each other. But the defense is on the road. Houston and energy is going to be just electric. I can see if Houston gets a couple of bounces or gets on top early. We all keep waiting for the other Joe Flacco shoe to drop. And at some point, Joe Flacco is going to turn into the 38-year-old quarterback that he is. Is it this game? Probably not, but I think that the Texans cover. I think this is a 1-point game either way, and a couple of bounces either way could very easily be Houston's game. My bullshit is over.
What was your pick?
I think he took the Browns.
I took the
Texans
Browns.
Did you
cover.
take the Browns? Okay.
I took the Browns,
cool.
but the Texans to cover.
Okay, cool. Gotcha.
Home dog in the playoffs, man.
Unfortunately.
Home dog in the
Yeah.
playoffs. That's a weird spread on that one, too.
Yeah.
Let's carry on, shall we? Our wayward son.
Oh, who's
in
that?
Cleveland?
Uh-oh.
Who's the Browns fan?
Who's the Browns fan? I'll find out. Carry on.
I will tell you, we do have a Browns fan that works at Old Chicago. So Erin knows some things about some Browns. She's from the Cleveland area. So
It's your other father. It's Mac.
Oh,
okay. Hopefully he's doing good. Hopefully everything's good.
his mom. out
Let's
there
talk
with
about the next game, because here's an important one for that house who's watching right now. This is the Miami Dolphins, guys, and they are going to Kansas City to take on them Chiefs. Something interesting to note here, the Miami Dolphins haven't won a game sub 40-degree temperature at game time start since before 2017. Just interesting to note. It's supposed to be in the single digits, so fuck, that's cool. The Dolphins are going to Kansas City, and in Arrowhead, the Chiefs are favored by 4.5. The over-under on this game is at 44, so slightly lower, which is interesting because these two teams are supposed to be built around offense. Kansas City has obviously shifted their direction this year because their offense is trash. Matt, we're going to start with you on this one. What do you think?
Yeah. If it was above freezing, even if it was sub 40, I would give Miami half a chance, but they don't have a snowball's chance in hell in this game. Going on the road in
interesting snowball's chance.
See what I did there? That was intentional.
Yeah, I like it.
On the road at Arrowhead, that place is going to be just on fire. Did the Chiefs get their shit fixed enough to beat Miami? I think, I think the Chiefs cover and take the under.
Okay. Frank?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a running heavy game either way on this one just because of how cold it is. And taking the passing game away from Miami, which helps open up their run game, is going to be rough, I think, for them, especially against the Chiefs this year. Their defense has just been such a knock your dick in the dirt defense that I think they're going to shut them down, and I think Tua's going to get beat up a little bit.
Dick in the dirt. So are you picking the Chiefs too?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm 3 for 3 on that one, guys. I like the Chiefs to cover. I think that Miami's a little banged up. They're missing their best 3 defensive players. I don't think Tyreek is right. And they're going to have to run the ball, like you guys said. And I trust Kansas City's backfield more than I trust Miami's backfield in the cold on the road. So I'm with you guys on that one. Go Chiefs. Next game is not very.
Go Chiefs. I just think they're going to win.
Yeah, I'm not saying go Chiefs.
Did I tell you that you? No, I said go Chiefs. I said I'm agreeing with you guys, and then I said go Chiefs.
I'm not rooting for the Chiefs.
That's fine. I am rooting for the Chiefs, so that's why. Fat Andy is still the coach of the Chiefs, right? Fat Andy's still there, right?
Yeah, they're still the Chiefs.
Bag Fat Andy?
No, it doesn't matter.
Explain it
AFC
again
West.
with them nuggies.
AFC West until I die. Fuck the Chiefs.
Okay.
Fuck the Chiefs. Just fuck the Chargers.
Anyways, Chiefs will win this game. The next game is not very interesting. We are talking about the hapless, and I don't know how they fucking backed their way into this one because everyone else choked on their dicks on the way into this. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going up to Buffalo, where it's going to be cold in upstate New York, State, and the Bills are favored by 10 in this one, guys. It is a 10-point spread, and the over-under for this game is 36. So they're expecting a low-scoring game. They're thinking, somewhere in the lines of like 17-7 type thing, guys, in this game. What are you thinking? I guess I'll start with Frank on this one.
I'm thinking this line is about right. The Steelers just lost their best player. That's going to hurt them tremendously defensively. I think Mason Rudolph gets exposed for what we know he actually is. He's an okay backup quarterback, and he's about to get, I think, ran over in this game because they're not going to be able to rely on that run game the whole time. And the Bills, just pile on the points. They're so used to playing. I know both these teams are kind of used to playing in the cold, but the Bills seem to do it a little more. And I'd say that they're used to this in the playoffs at this point. So that doesn't really surprise me that it's a 10-point game, and I think that's right. I think it's going to be like a 27-6 game or something like that.
Also, the over-under for broken tables in the parking lot before the game is also at 36.
Damn it.
Tell me what you want to say about this game.
I was just going to say, I want to fly a drone over the parking lot and just watch the chicanery and the shenanigans that Bill's Mafia is going to get into ahead of this game. It's going to be, shirtless okie dokes from the top of RVs dropping people's elbows onto briskets is what's going to happen in this game. The Bills pass rush is
onto briskets.
Yeah, you're going to smoke a brisket.
Who's going to cut the brisket?
This guy. The Bills pass rush is not as good as it could be, but I don't think it matters. There's no way that Pittsburgh on their third starting quarterback of the year is going to be able to amount to much. The Bills are riding high after that big win against Miami. It's in Buffalo. Josh plays well in the cold. Josh plays well in the wind because he went to Laramie and trained in the windiest place in America. I don't know if 10 points is enough, and hammer the under.
All right, so it's going to be like 20-3.
Yeah, I said 27-6, but yeah,
this game very well could be, like 17-0.
Could, yeah.
And here's the thing, guys. If this goes completely sideways and say Josh Allen gets hurt or something in the first quarter and somehow Pittsburgh just squeaks out a win, Tim Tebow style, I don't think that coach in Buffalo is going to be there next year. So the coaching tree is still up for grabs if Buffalo somehow blows this game. And speaking about being up for grabs if someone blows this game, let's go down to Dallas, Texas.
Oh my God.
Where the Cowboys haven't played in the NFC Championship game since they won the Super Bowl in the 90s. And the Dallas Cowboys are at home with the Green Bay Packers, who have been hot as of late, coming in. The Cowboys are favored by a touchdown and a half a point, so 7.5 point road at home for the Cowboys. This spread is currently at 50.5, so a higher point spread. Does Mike McCarthy get the axe, Matt? Tell me about this one.
So Jerry Jones comes out and says that Mike McCarthy is week to week, and then the very next day he says he's super pleased with the job Mike McCarthy has done. I don't trust either of these teams in this game, but Dallas is far more talented across the board. Their defense is much better. They're a more veteran team. I think that the atmosphere is going to take some of Green Bay's younger players by surprise. Dak is due for a win at some point, and he's got a ton of horses around him. And like I said, that defense is just outstanding. I think Dallas covers.
Frank?
I think that some historical reference is needed in this one. The Packers have won 9 of their last 10 games in Dallas.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
And I think this is where I think that historical thing will take place, because I think the fear exists in the Cowboys to lose this game. They're going to try not to lose it, and I think that's what's going to cause the downfall. And we will have Dan Quinn as the head coach of Dallas Cowboys next year.
Okay, so we have a tie here. A wild tie here. I don't really know what to do because I didn't prepare for a tie in this one. I thought these were all going to be kind of clean cut. But I'm going to go ahead and actually I got these backwards. I put the K on the Packers and the T on the Cowboys. I need to switch that. Sorry. I like my penis. I like it attached to my body. The person who sleeps next to me will not remove it if I pick the Packers. I have a feeling this is going to be the only football game I watch this weekend. I hope Green Bay wins. So I'm going to take the Packers in this one just to break the tie.
To be fair, 9 of the last 10 games have been started by Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Yeah, and they're on their third one right now in a row.
I was going to say, Jordan Love is starting to look
he's
pretty good in his
here.
third year.
Let's pump the brakes just a little bit.
Well, and historical context here, their first playoffs as a starter, all 3 of them have won. Or the other 2 have won their first start in the playoffs with the Packers. So maybe they go for the three-peat.
Point is this is going to be a really interesting watch, and looking forward to this game. Some of these other games are kind of fucking shitty. That one looks like a lot of fun. This game also looks like, and that is Kroenke's cross-country journey from St. Louis to Los Angeles, and now they're going to Detroit to take them Lions on. And the Lions are favored by 3 in this one. It's a 51.5 point spread. This is the biggest spread of the entire weekend, guys. Rams and Lions at home. Tank, start with you.
I'm going to go with the hot team on this one. I think the Rams are actually dangerous at this point. I think they've suffered early in the season but that team's built itself back up to actually be a threat now. And I think they shut down the Lions on their first appearance in the playoffs under the new regime.
Matt?
Not having Sam Laporta is a huge problem for Detroit. The atmosphere at Ford Field is probably going to be the wildest of any that we've even mentioned to this point because they don't have any playoff experience. There are grown-ass adults in Detroit who have never seen a Detroit playoff game live, right? They're fans of this team who just don't know how it's supposed to be. So I think it's going to get a little bit loose and it could get a little bit ugly in the stands. I think LA has an opportunity to really control the game. Kyron Williams is an absolute monster. The NFL wins again with the storyline, and we get the two quarterbacks of the opposite teams playing against their alma maters, as it were. What was the line? You said Lions by 3?
3 currently.
Yeah. God damn, this is a hard one. I'm leaning towards the Rams too, but it wouldn't shock me at all if old kneecap Dan figures it out.
Bro, get off the fence. Pick a team.
The Rams. Give me the Rams. But I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me the other way.
Yeah,
this one's a hard one.
For sure.
Right.
I would like to say that I think that you guys are right. I think there's no possible way Detroit wins this game. I think that everyone's going to play tight. They've got something to prove, and the Rams have enough pieces from the Super Bowl that I think they've been there before, done that, and Dan Campbell will be back next year, and they'll be a much better team.
Agreed.
It's going to get ugly in Detroit. There's going to be a riot, bro.
One way or the other.
It's going to be ugly. Jesus. Speaking of ugly, let's talk about Tampa Bay, shall we? And the Buccaneers get a home playoff game. Baker Mayfield may be trash, but he's hosting a playoff game in Tampa Bay.
That's ridiculous.
The Eagles are on the road. Remember these guys. Matt, you'd probably have our Super Bowl picks. I don't have them in front of me. And you probably have them somewhere else.
Yeah, they're somewhere.
But I think one or more of us picked the Eagles at the beginning of the year. I can't remember, to be honest. But they're favored by 3 on the road on Wild Card Weekend. Matt, make sense of this one for me.
I can't. The Eagles are spiraling. The Tampa Bay won arguably the worst division in football. Baker Mayfield is trash. What the hell?
I wrote that down. I wrote
you already wrote Baker Mayfield is trash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It says Baker Mayfield is trash right here.
Do the Eagles have enough upstairs to put everything behind them and actually turn it around? And if they win this game, they become extraordinarily scary because they then show the league we can go on the road, we can win a playoff game. We're still the guys that went last year, but they could also very well implode. And this could be the Jalen Hurts 3 touchdown express. Jesus, I can't do it. Give me the Eagles. Fuck Baker Mayfield. Fuck him right to hell. I can't do it. I don't even care. You guys can both pick Tampa. Fuck Baker.
48 minutes and 40 seconds. You need
Fuck
to
him
mark
to hell.
that. Fuck Baker Mayfield. Fuck him right to hell. I need to sound clip that one and put it back on Twitter because that's gold. Frank, take us home.
This is on paper the worst matchup of the weekend. I think the Eagles are incredibly lucky that they have the softest team in the NFC to play against in this game. But I don't think that matters. Jalen's injured. That offense doesn't know what it's doing anymore. And I think even though Baker throws 3 interceptions, he also throws 3 touchdowns. And the Bucks pull this one off at home.
Holy fuck, you're gonna make me pick this pile of garbage. Holy fuck, I hate you both. So let's talk through this from my perspective. AJ Brown comes out and says the locker room's not fractured. You guys are talking about it. Everybody's frustrated. Why are you guys just picking on me? I don't think AJ Brown is healthy. We know the quarterback situation isn't great. Tampa Bay, that's probably the best of the non-dome stadiums. This is probably the best weather game. Looking through it, that's the only one that's open air besides Kansas City. So the weather won't be a factor. I think I'm going to take the Eagles on this one, just for the pure and simple fact that this particular group has been a group longer. And maybe AJ Brown lit a fire under them and they're going to be okay. Maybe. And Baker Mayfield is trash. It says so right on the sheet of paper.
Right. For the record, I did pull up our predictions.
Okay.
You guys both had Eagles and KC.
Okay.
I had the Niners and the Jets.
So we could each have half.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could have gotten halfway there. And I've got the divisions too if you want to cover that after we're done. But
I don't think we need to
stupid Jets.
Maybe an end of the season special when things slow down a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a February episode.
That, guys, is our wild card pew pew pick'em segment. Yeah, how much fun is that? One thing of note that I'd like to say that has nothing to do with Pew Pew Pick'em, but I find is interesting is, do you guys know that the Denver Broncos are probably going to be on Hard Knocks this year?
That'd be interesting.
So you can't have been on, in order to be eligible, you can't have been on Hard Knocks for like the previous 5 years or something like that. You can't have had a brand new head coach that same year. And there's one other thing. You
can't have gone to the playoffs.
Yeah,
you can't be. There are 3 teams that qualify for that, and the only one that's interesting. There's like the Bears, the Colts, and the Broncos are the only 3 that qualify under those 3 conditions. The Broncos are a no-brainer, right? They can all turn them down.
Irsay is a big enough publicity whore.
See, I could see him actually. I could see him volunteering the Colts to do it, but if they all refuse. I could see the NFL jamming this down Sean Payton's throat. We could be
they're not going to jam it down Sean Payton's throat. The person they have to convince is Penner.
Well, which they could do. They don't like Sean Payton at the league office.
No.
So I could see them.
No, I get that. I absolutely get that. But
that's what I mean by jamming it down their throat.
Yeah. That would be like some analogy that I just can't come up with right now.
Right.
I don't see Irsay turning it down if they go to him though.
Yeah, he may just. Yeah, he may just. Who's the third one? Who's the
Chicago?
Oh, Chicago.
So unless they fire Eberflus,
which is possible.
Yeah, but not likely. They gave the OC the okie doke, so he may have saved his job with that.
OC, DC,
Getsy's gone.
Special teams coordinator.
Yeah.
Who else? Wide receivers
tight
coordinator.
Coach. Okay, that guy.
Yeah.
The tight end guy was fine. The assistant tight end guy, he's got to fucking go. What? Okay. It's practically a graduate assistant.
Could have been an actual graduate assistant.
Yeah, right.
Might have been.
I probably make more than the assistant tight ends coach. Fucking Chicago. Those guys are notoriously cheap. All right. Well, we've done an hour. You guys got anything else?
I have a dipshit.
Oh, you have a dipshit? Fire away with your dipshit.
Draymond Green.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like, bro, I can't fight people anymore. I'm gonna quit. Then fucking quit, bro. Like that's all I gotta say about it. Is like Draymond Green
I was gonna walk away
and says the fucking commissioner of basketball had to talk him out of retiring. And first off, if that's true, then the commissioner of basketball needs to have his head checked. Because who cares about Draymond Green anymore? Like he's not a good player, and he's costing his team. and he's costing his team.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sure. Anyways, Draymond Green's my dipshit.
The best part of that whole conversation was when Draymond was saying, I cried, he cried. Like, what? I can see Draymond crying. He's obviously unstable. There's something going on there. Yeah. 3 weeks of therapy isn't enough to cure a man who likes to stomp on people's throats for a living in a basketball game.
He's got Antonio Brown brain at this point.
Well, he never got lit up like that by Vontez Burfict. So
not that we know of. Sure, he's been in a street fight or two and took a shot to the head.
Yeah. New Orleans is currently beating Golden State by 15 in the third, by the way.
Good thing Draymond's back.
Good thing Draymond's back.
Yeah, but that was it. That was all I had.
That was all you had? Okay.
Yeah. Fuck Draymond.
Tank, you got anything?
Congratulations, Michigan. Good job.
Yeah, congratulations to Michigan.
Good luck.
They're going to keep their coach, I think, at this point. I don't think they're going to shift. I think that win keeps him there.
I don't know if you could pull Jim Harbaugh away from Michigan ever, regardless.
I had an interesting theory the other day that the NCAA could go to Jim Harbaugh and say, listen, we're going to have to suspend you for a year for all this bullshit that we haven't investigated yet. And we said we're going to wait till the end of the year to do. If you just go somewhere else, like take an NFL job, we won't suspend you. I could see something like that happening.
The only
like
problem
Michael Jordan type situation.
Only problem is
they don't want to sully their championship. So if there's some investigation and some shit comes on, I could see the NCAA doing something like this. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it could happen. You've got
an interesting thought there, and you might be right, but I think you've got the wrong reason. I think that the only way that happens is if the NCAA goes to Harbaugh and says, if you go away, we leave Michigan alone.
Yeah. No, that's kind of what I'm saying.
Not Harbaugh, not suspend Harbaugh. Like, we won't vacate the championship. Right. We'll be done and just call it good. And
we had a really good championship season. We're getting ready for another big year with 12 teams in the playoff. I don't think that they want the embarrassment if there's an investigation. So it's kind of going to be a mutual thing, kind of like the Michael Jordan thing, you know.
That's a very interesting tinfoil hat theory you got there. I like it.
Yeah, I thought it's fun.
There's only one thing going against what you said, unfortunately, and that's Charlie Baker, the current president of the NCAA, coming out today and saying that Michigan's national championship was earned and it was fair and square, and he is okay with their organization and them being forward and coming out with the information and sharing their information about the cheating already. And they are eliminating any doubts to the legitimacy of the Wolverines championship already.
Just feeding further into my theory, honestly.
Well, that's wild though that he already came out and said, like, no, we're done. They got it. They won fair and square.
And everybody steals signs. I mean, come on, Jesus Christ. I mean, not everyone has Connor Stella.
Not everyone pays people to go stand on the sideline at other people's games.
I'll tell you what, not everybody does it, but not everybody gets caught doing it either. Because we all know for a fact.
Guys, the Duchess is making a beverage right now.
Okay. We
have got to get back to this. So we can
got a couple minutes. Tell her to shake it a couple extra times. It'll be fine.
She is mimosaing right now and preparing to get on the air.
Brilliant. So
what?
You guys just keep going.
No, we're about done.
We're about done. I'm getting ready to kick socials and tell people all the things. So make sure you check out Tank Knox and Knox Nostalgia Collectibles and all of the things. That's where you can find him. Mark's Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok are at Poffle Time. You can find me at Twitch and Twitter at Puffalopagus, and my TikToks at King Goon Smoke. I will not be on the cast next week because I will be in Mexico. Watch out for some TikToks from sunny Cabo. We're flying out at 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. It's going to be 6 degrees. And then when we land in Mexico, it'll be 70 degrees warmer. So have fun with that.
Yeah, you have fun with that.
Yeah, I will. We'll see you next week with a coverage of the first wild card.
Yep.
Or the wild card weekend.
Yep. If my signal's decent, I'm not too shit-faced. I may call in. Who knows? You might have to get me on the phone. Who knows? Make sure you check out the Goon Squad. You can find us on Facebook at My Brother's an Idiot. Find the black logo. We'll get you in. You can also follow My Brother's an Idiot on YouTube at My Brother's an Idiot, right? Did I get that one right? Tank? Yes? Okay. Thank you. Good. Thank you. And on Twitch and Twitter at The Idiot Goons. We're going right into nerds, so stick around. But for now, for Mark and Tank, this has been The Scramble. Make sure you take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and take care of each other. We'll see you next time. See ya.
Gene Mingo, bruh, Spider.